As fast as these electric cars are, I can never give up the manual transmission. Welcome to my garage. My name is Nick Rudder. In today's episode, I'm going to cover a host of different questions that you guys have contacted me and inquired about, including an environmentally friendly way to wash your vehicle inside your garage, caring for synthetic vegan leather, how to take care of your cargo mats and your floor liners, as well as tips and techniques for vacuuming the interior. So stay tuned. I'm going to start by giving this Tesla Model Y a rinseless wash. I'm going to get my stuff ready. I'll see you back in a moment. So there's a number of different ways to wash your vehicle. Most of us are familiar with the traditional method, which includes a bucket, a garden hose, and a soapy solution that you use outside with a wash mitt. Well, with this technique, it's called a rinseless wash, and this is an environmentally friendly way to wash your vehicle. And one of the many benefits of it, besides the fact that you do not need a garden hose, is you only use about 3 gallons of water, and you can safely wash your vehicle practically anywhere, anytime, including the comfort of your garage, or if you live in an apartment complex, out in the parking lot, or even at a car show. So it requires a few basic elements, a few tools before you get started. First and foremost, I have a detailing cart here that actually has a cutout for my bucket. I love detailing carts like this because I don't have to constantly bend over to reload my soapy sponge with solution. So it saves my back and makes things a lot easier. And having a cart to store your stuff is just a great way to be effective and efficient anyway. Then I have a grit guard insert in the bottom of the bucket, and this actually helps trap the dirt and debris so it no longer swirls up in the wash media and actually gets stuck in your mitt. Instead, it stays at the bottom of the wash bucket because these fins keep things trapped. And the way a rinseless wash works is you have a specialized solution here. This particular one has graphene in it. So graphene adds gloss, it adds slickness, and it adds paint protection while cleaning at the same time. And basically, with a rinseless wash, you wash about 2 panels at a time, and then you dry the panel. And you repeat this process, working your way around the entire car. And from your vantage point, this Tesla might not look that dirty, but when you get up close, you'd be surprised. It's covered in dust, dirt, bird droppings, and plus, you don't really use a rinseless wash for a vehicle that hasn't been cleaned in several months or several years anyway. So a rinseless wash is more for upkeep on taking something that's relatively well maintained and keeping it that way. So you have a solution here, and what's really nice is this particular product has a built-in measuring cup, so you simply squeeze it to fill up the solution to the correct measurement, which in this case is 1 full ounce. Just takes a little bit. If you get a little bit more, that's okay. Add it to your bucket there. And then as a pre-soak, just to add extra lubricity, I have a pump sprayer here, and I'm going to stir the solution using my grit guard insert, just to mix it around, and then dunk this in there to fill it up. And I'm only going to fill this up about halfway because it doesn't take a whole lot of product. And also, by having less solution in there and more air means that I'll be able to pressurize it longer because this is a pump-up sprayer. So you simply pump it up. And while I'm pumping this up, I'm going to allow my sponge to actually soak in the solution. So this is a rinseless wash sponge. It's big and it's gold, and it has these cross-cut grooves to actually trap dirt and debris. So I'll let that soak for a moment. And the pre-soak helps loosen dirt and debris, so when you actually use your sponge, you're less likely to scratch the paint. It's an extra precautionary measure that's especially effective for bird droppings and the like. And plus, when you're working on a car like this where the wheels and tires aren't too dirty, you can actually just use this alone, along with a towel, on the surface. It works really fast and easy. But for the paint, I'm going to spray the material all over the Tesla. And once you get your process down pat, you can actually wash your vehicle using a rinseless wash in as little as 15 or 20 minutes. It doesn't take long at all. So as you can see, I saturated the surface with solution, and again, that's to help loosen dirt and debris. So when I rub my sponge across it, you're less likely to scratch it, which with this method, if you use the right products and the right technique, you don't have to worry about scratching anyway. So I take my sponge, and I'm going to wring out about 75–80% of the solution, and then take it and simply go in one direction each time. And the reason why you go in one direction, or straight lines, is so you're not rubbing in a circular motion and grinding any dirt into the paint. So it's just a good precaution to do that, a good technique. And this car, it's dirty, but it's not super dirty. If this car were dirtier, after I would do a section, I would actually flip the sponge over to another side, but with this being just modestly dirty, it's not as necessary. But I am going to flip the sponge right now for the next panel. And then there's dirt and gunk on this sponge. So before I move on to the next panel, what I'll actually do is take this sponge and I'll dunk it and rub it against my grit guard insert, and that actually releases the dirt and the grit from the surface. And drying it is simple. To add extra gloss and protection, I'm going to use a drying aid, and for that I'm using a graphene coating wax. So I'm going to dry it here with a Glacier 1100 drying towel. This is a style of microfiber towel that's very soft and very absorbent. And then I'll see you for the interior when I clean and condition the vegan leather after vacuuming everything. Man, that looks really good.